Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Protein Matters. I'm your host Shreya, and today we're going to be talking about World Environment Day. It is a day dedicated to raising awareness about our planet's most pressing environmental issues. World Environment Day, established by the United Nations in 1974, is celebrated every year on June 5th. It's a global platform involving over 150 countries, and this year's theme, land restoration, desertification, and drought resilience, focuses on revitalizing degraded land and enhancing our resilience to drought. Joining us today is Mr. Nagaraja, a leading expert in environmental science and sustainability. Mr. Nagaraja hails from Malnad region of Chikmagaluru and spent his childhood amidst nature. The flora and fauna of that region fascinated him and made him appreciate the vast green covered land. In today's episode, we will discuss key environmental challenges, practical actions individuals can take, and the significant role of teenagers in environmental conservation. Let's get started. Welcome, Mr. Nagaraja. I hope you're doing well, and thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, the first question, can you start by explaining the significance of World Environment Day and its history? And why is it important to have a day dedicated to environmental awareness?
As such, the world is an environment. Environment is a small, whether small or big. What is environment? If you say environment, whether in a place surrounding you, whether is your place of residence, place of location, where you, in the city or a country or the world. So the entire world is an environment wherein we need to take whatever possible at the various level, at the individual level as well as the government level, macro level as well as micro level. So what we are doing at the micro level individually, we can contribute to the micro level, whatever way you can contribute. So either it is increasing the green cover by planting the saplings, or segregation of the waste, or recycling of the plastics. Even a small thing like tissue paper, it is totally misused everywhere. It comes out of tree only. So there are so many things what you can do. So as per country is concerned, rules, everything is excellent, fine. But the only thing it's implementation or people who practice it is not there. So either people don't practice here, or if they don't practice, there is nobody to enforce them to practice it. This is a big thing happening, is lacuna here. So whatever way at the micro level individually can contribute, they should contribute for the betterment of a better living of everyone around us. So I don't want to go into the detail of the global warming and all those things. They're all known to us in whatever way. You see, you don't graduate your efforts according to the global warming. I do whatever possible from my end. You do it.
So, can you also speak about your organization and its significance?
So after my retirement as Assistant General Manager of State Bank of Mysore, I started one small NGO. It can be called as NGO for the namesake. A small group is called Hasiru Ratha. So it is always my intention since 30, 40 years. Since 40 years, I am into this. When I am in the bank, wherever I was posted, I used to do one program as such, one Mahotsava call, involving my customers, my staff, and myself, wherever I was posted. After retirement, I more than that I couldn't give time because my priority was the bank. After retirement, it was my wish that I should start exclusively for this program, tree planting only. Tree planting is the main thing. And in and around where we are tree planting of the saplings, if any green, cleanliness required, we do that also. So I purchased one Maruti Eco vehicle as a logistical support out of my pension funds. Okay. And then I had named that vehicle as Hasiru Ratha, Ratha chariot, green chariot. Later on, I thought of putting that name only to a group. We are a small group of 70 to 80 people. We started with the 3 or 4 people, and straight away we started hiring one assistant. We need one assistant. Along with that, couple of volunteers. We started this. To begin with, I am staying in Edur Lake, near Edur Lake, and just Jayanagara 6 block. So initially, though I had a willingness to do elsewhere, everywhere, then I thought first we do in a place where you are. So Edur, Jayanagar was the first one to selected. And in and around in a radius of 3-4 kilometers, which consists of Basavangudi, Banishankari, Jayanagar, Hanumant Nagar, Vivipuram, and recently extended to Chamarajpet. These are the areas which we are covering. And we went on, what do we do? In Hasiratha, what we do is simple thing. We plant only in footpath and roads. which are more challenging. Challenging in the sense the challenges come from the cattle, come from the vehicle, come from the people themselves, and also to some extent bandicoot below the sapling. That is how we do. We do what we do in Hasurata every day. 2 hours of Prakriti Seva. What we feel every day, we go out from 6:30 to 8:30. On Saturday, Sunday, sometimes it gets extended. So along with 3 or 4 of people, a couple of us, and Saturday, Sunday, some more people, youngsters like you, join us also. So we have 60, 17 members in the group, but they all out of fashion, they joined initially on their own, but over the period, their interest fades away. One day program, 5th June, everybody will come. If you do it daily, nobody does. So it is a 5th of June for me every day. What we do is, in Hasiru Ratha, we plant sapling in urban areas, in footpath and roads. Every day we plant, in the sense we plant only in the rainy season. That is during the June, July, August. Later on, we take care of these saplings. The difference with me and others is they plant and forget. I plant and take care of them till it grows to a level. As it grows, my responsibility of maintenance comes down.
Yeah. Yes.
This is what the routine we do.
So, what can the youth and teenagers and do to have a meaningful impact on the environment? And can you give examples of actions that they can take in their daily lives to contribute to environmental preservation?
I told you about rainwater harvesting. If it is not in their house, it is they who have to tell their parents. You number two, if the waste segregation are not being done at their home, they should tell they should do it, and they should tell their elders also to do it. So that has to come from the home. Then, in addition to that, in schools, colleges, in the school, college, not necessarily the instruction should come from the teacher. Students themselves should say, 5th is the World Environment Day. Now I'm telling, if it is the World Environment Day, if they say, the student can ask the teacher. If the teacher doesn't tell them that tomorrow we are going to have a program, say, Madam, what is the program we are going to have during the World Environment Day? Where do we need to plant some sapling or clean certain area? This is what they need. Then third is the plastic garbage which we are throwing everywhere. Now lake rejuvenation, I said, there is a NSS. The NSS, they go once in a year, they go and camp in a village, do all these things. What they do, is it a fun? It is a fashion. Out of passion, they should do some contributive work which really changes the life of. So think in their own way. What I can do to preserve the nature among ourselves, keep the clean city, and follow the directions given or instructions or guidelines given by the local authorities or the government. I tell you, madam, in India, you have an excellent system of instruction everywhere. So youth are the main thing. They are the people. If I am planting saplings, I tell some of people, see, I plant sapling, it's for your sake, not for me. I am 67-year-old. My time is over. I don't know how long. But the question, it is for you guys. And you should join us. When I'm planting on the roadside, see, I'm planting on the roadside, on the footpath. People move around here and there. Hardly 1 or 2 people to the show interest come and tell somebody express their appreciation. Some people say, join us on it. But it's only hardly 1 or 2 for 5%. 95%, you don't ask, what are you doing?
So, what advice would you give to teenagers who are trying to start their own initiatives or who are trying to participate in community programs?
I would like to say, as far as planting of saplings concerned, see, it's not, it is easy to plant a sapling in your garden. Now, hardly this luxury, only few houses have 80 by 120 sides with the garden. The garden already they have. Okay, you can plant one sapling. Where do they plant? Say they need to plant on roads and like these public places, or they should select in a large scale in a hill area. Or so it needs, you need to dig, then you need to put the sapling, and you need a pole to support it. Then you have to tie it. Then most importantly, tree guard. So all these things, how do you procure, how do you do it is important. One thing, if you are capable of doing all these things, organizing, you can do it. You have to resources, money has to be pooled. All these things, one area where people can do. You can do wonder. I'm not saying no. The youngsters can do wonders. Collectively, they can do wonders. Number one. Number two, you simply have to join a platform which I am providing, or NGOs like me who are providing. You simply have to collect their contact number and tell them that we are going to join in your services. What can we can do? As far as I am concerned, they are simply walk in, serve for half an hour, 1 hour or 2 hours. We'll be there on 2 hours on ground. You need to be there for half an hour, 1 hour or so. Come, we will be daily. We'll be there. You can come daily. You can come weekly. You can come monthly. If not, you can come even once in a year on 5th of June. That's what I say. And out of 70 people who became the members of my Hasurata on their own volition, on the 5th of June, we had only 8 people, 6 to 8 people, despite my notice to them to join at least once in a year. So people, what people can do is, youngsters, you say, they should look out for these NGOs and join them. Is a simple way to do. Apart from if they're college to NSS, they should join the NSS. The other one is you can form a group of your own, mobilizing all the resources required and do it.
Yes, sir. I agree. I think taking the first step is very important. Also, do you see a difference in mindset and awareness between urban and non-urban populations? And do rural areas take environmental preservation more seriously as compared to the urban areas?
As far as this environment is concerned, though they say rural area, they love trees, greenery, etc. Because of their nature of work, they are agriculturists. So they grow whatever they grow. If somebody growing paddy or ragi, they grow that only. On the roadside, they don't allow us to plant sapling. There is a reason in that. On the roadside, on the boundary of their field, if a road runs, they will not plant the sapling themselves, nor allow us to plant. The simple reason, if the plant grows under the shade, the crops will not.
Yeah.
And so as far as initiative is concerned about increasing the green cover, other than their natural way of growing plants of horticulture, which bears them fruits and other things, commercial crops or otherwise, they don't do anything. I don't see much of a difference. As far as that awareness is concerned, I think in the urban areas it is little more.
Okay.
The concern for the urban people towards nature are more, maybe by virtue of their learning or being educated. Of course, they are also in a small percentage.
Got it. Yeah.
The concern is more in the urban areas.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
they are facing the problem.
Yes. Yes.
That on the last one, mobile, the pollution is the biggest contributory factor for the degradation of the environment.
So, what policies and regulations are crucial for driving environmental change, and how can the government support and enforce these measures effectively?
We don't lack so far as policy decisions are concerned.
Yeah.
So there is a deficit in implementing these policies, enforcing it. Everywhere people say their helplessness. They show their inability. People are not doing. If they don't do, they should enforce it. That is not happening. One is the people are not honest in executing the work which they are supposed to do, either citizens or worker. And the third, there is no there are enforcement authorities which do not enforce their own policies. The only thing they need to do is the policy makers, they should see that the policies are implemented, they are enforced without accepting any lame excuses. So I see, unless the government rules everything fine, no need to change anything. If they are implemented, whatever discussion we had, whether it is rainwater harvesting, it is the residential lakes, is the garbage segregation, solar, the single use of plastic.
Yes. So, looking ahead, what are some positive changes you hope to see in environmental protection, and how do you see the role of the youth evolving in this movement?
Now the only question is, as the day passes, with the in fact the nature teaches people, nature teaches them. In fact, maybe the floods or the landslide, all these things, because prakriti vikopa. So nature also knows how to bounce back. and people have felt it, especially the summer, especially maybe the landslide, the flooding, etc. Flooding, now they are experiencing all these things.
So I hope this conversation inspires people to at least take the first step and contribute and give back to society that has given so much to them.
The question is, I build my bank balance throughout my service as an employee or as a businessman or whoever, maybe they are a farmer. They strive hard to build their bank balance. That bank balance ultimately in the form of acquiring various assets. They treat all these things as an asset. I am saying out of your own income, a small percentage of amount, maybe 1%, I am talking 1%, 2%, 5% of the amount, please spare it towards your social service cost. In that, treating, in fact, if you come to the environment is concerned, treat that 5% you are investing on asset which will take care of your future generation. If I am spending, in fact, in my Hasurata, I do not solicit fund from anybody.
Yeah.
I solicit only people to come as volunteers. I want them to volunteer for the services only. In fact, if I demand some amount from them contribution, I'm afraid they may not come. Treat this also as an investment. The investment in the environment or in your social activities, benefiting the society, treat that also a kind of asset.
So this is the question I asked to all my guests on my podcast. What advice would you give to your younger self?
One is I have set an example to be followed. The Hasirata, what I built, I have told my two daughters to continue after me. I told them to continue me. And in extent possible, I will earmark some amount. I have built some bank balance, some assets I do have. See, after reaching certain age, having performed all my social obligations, at the end, I can think of some portion of my assets, some portion of my income going towards benefiting the society at large.
So I think that's the end of our episode for today. Thank you so much, sir, for joining me and providing so many useful insights and advice for us to start the process of environmental conservation. I'm sure a lot of people will be inspired to take a few important steps. Yeah, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for giving the opportunity to share some amount if it can inspire others. Otherwise, I'm not for the publicity. If my words can inspire a few people and also inspire them to join me, my organization, or any other organization which are around them, and if they can contribute something to the society or to the environment, I'd be very happy.
Yes. And thank you for whoever is tuning into this today's episode. And I hope you enjoyed it and do look forward to other ones.